Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I'm on my way to work, and I don't know if you guys can see him, but Jack Skellington's in the back. Yeah, and I got some new ink, and I love Jack Skellington. It's like one of my favorite things ever. So I have to apologize. I have a new mount in my car, and I'm not kind of really liking the way it's shaky so much, so please forgive me. I'm not sure how my stabilization is working or not. I will definitely check on that later, and I will do a little more filming at home, and it's easier for me to just kind of get in the car. I am working graveyards. I work 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. so that makes it a little bit rougher for me to make sure that I have enough time to film and enough time to sleep, because as we know, everybody, sleep is one of the most important things. Amidst this current COVID-19 drama, I do want to definitely talk to you guys about what I'm doing. I am not self-quarantine yet. We are taking extra precautions at work for anyone who might be immunosuppressed, and it definitely is. I'm scared. I will tell you that I definitely am scared, and I'm not really sure, how this whole thing is going to pan out. Through the research, and do some research, you guys, and stuff like that, find out this really is a nasty virus, and it actually is scary. And I honestly will tell you that it's scaring me. And at first I was like, oh, you know what, it's no different than the flu. But honestly, the flu scares me every year as well. I am not a fan of the flu, and in 1918 it killed 500 million people. This pandemic is nothing compared to that. But if you do your research, from the influenza in 1918, the pandemic at that time, the 500 million men were coming home from World War II. And because they were coming home from World War II, they were actually transferring the virus from country to country to country, because obviously being a world war, everybody was involved in, securing, beating Hitler. That really was, the whole thing. We obviously know the history, okay? So, but when they came home, they brought the virus with them. And so it infected every country across the world. And this one, I have a feeling, is going to be just like that. I think a lot of people are believing that just their extra hand washing and that kind of stuff is going to slow it down. And honestly, yes, it does. You cover your mouth when you cough. You wash your hands. You make sure that you cough into either your elbow if you don't have a tissue. If you have a tissue or anything, cough into the tissue, throw the tissue away immediately. Make sure that you wash your hands or use hand sanitizer. Now, I am allergic to hand sanitizer, so I cannot use that. So I definitely do a lot of hand washing, and I use a lot of lotion because my hands get so dry. So, and that doesn't negate anything. I called the doctor today because I needed to know what Dr. Hendon thought about this whole thing, because I am coming up on my 5th, if I remember right. I think my 5th infusion of my Ocrevus since it's been FDA approved. And I know that toward the end of my 6 months that my health kind of suffers a little. I know that I end up having more shortness of breath. I end up being very tired quite quickly. And if that happens, then I try to sleep a lot. I try to make sure that I don't subject myself to doing anything foolish that I don't want to do. Like when I get overtired, do I go out and go hiking? No. Do I go run a marathon? No. Do I do stupid stuff? Probably. I spend a little bit of time just making sure that I give myself some rest time. And Hunter's really good about that as well. He's like, I think you're getting overly tired. I try not to work a lot of overtime, that kind of stuff. So with that being said, again, I call the neurologist, and I'm like, I'm coming up on my Ocrevus here in April, and what are we gonna do? So their requirement, or what they're asking, and I asked about self-quarantine as well, because I have to be to work. You guys don't know what I do, but I'll go ahead and put it out there. I actually work for a police department, and I am a dispatcher. And yes, my job can be stressful. I have a lot of people that ask me about that all the time. But I love my job, and I do my best with every day with making sure that I'm at work, because I want to be just as normal as everybody else. So anyway, now out of these 2 years that I've been filming now, for the first time ever, I'm actually announcing that I work for a police department and that I'm a dispatcher. This has nothing or no bearing on my disease at all. I really don't think so. I love my job, and I think by having a positive, a very positive outlook with my job, I think that's one of the things that keeps me going every day. So, Dr. Hendon, again, he talked to me about the ocrelizumab. Sorry, his nurse Becky did. And they need blood work because he wants to know where my B cell count is. And if it is increasing, then Becky said that it's very possible that I will have a supplement in between now and after the end of April, because as far as I know, they're not actually issuing any ocrelizumab just because with the steroids, and it suppresses your immune system so quickly once you get the infusion that they don't want to actually press that down, and they don't want to tamper that too much. So what we will do again is get some blood work, see what my B cell count is at, and then if it is continuing to stay stable, then what we will do is just go ahead and stay at where we're at now, or go ahead with the ocrelizumab if I'm continuing to stay stable from my last blood work that I had done just a couple months ago. So if I do get sick, and he says if my B cell count is pretty stable, he says most likely I will weather the virus well, that it probably will not affect me as badly as it possibly could. But of course, until I get the virus, I really have absolutely no idea how my body will react to it. So,
new text message from Stephanie Hislow.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so we did have that conversation, so I'm going to go get some blood work done tomorrow. I'll get up a little bit early and go get my blood work done, and they'll have it in about 5 days. Also, Dr. Hendon has stopped seeing patients in person. This is something that happened last week, obviously. I do have another appointment to see him again on the 30th, and it's not really to see him, but we're going to do a telephone appointment so that I will still be able to speak with him, and he'll be able to see. He doesn't need to know you know, I mean, right now, just during my neuro assessment is probably not the most important. Right now is just making sure that we avoid this virus. That is the most important part right now. So, I feel very, very good. I don't feel any recourse or anything so far. I don't even think, other than being a little bit tired, I don't think that I am even feeling the effects of it coming on toward the end of my ocrelizumab. So, and into my new infusion, my current medication. So with that being said, guys, let me know your fears and how this is going, and let's talk about how we can quell some of these fears and how we can support each other, because this is scary. And I have the lesion on my spine that affects my breathing. I am petrified of actually having to be on a ventilator. There is nowhere else for me to go. When something does not go right and my oxygen sats start to go down, my diaphragm not working is imperative to breathing on my own. And if my diaphragm doesn't work because of my MS, then there's nowhere for me to go but on a ventilator. Now, as you guys all know, people that do go on a ventilator, the body gets lazy, and when the machine breathes for it so much, the body, I wouldn't say kind of forgets, but it gets lazy and it doesn't want to breathe on its own. So coming off of the ventilator is one thing that is and can be a challenge for a lot of people. So that's my fear, and I'm gonna throw that out there, guys. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think. I have some good news also coming up, and I'm really looking forward to letting you guys know what it is. So today is just the COVID-19 and what's going on with the ocrelizumab and how we're going to manage it because of the Ocrevus and how it's working, and how I'm thinking that this is still keeping me healthy. And I 100% believe that it's the medication that's helping, because this disease was just rampant in my body, absolutely rampant. And I really was not even sure that I was going to live very long. And then once I was put into the study, things changed. And I knew this medication was the perfect match for me. Now, again, Ocrevus is not for everybody. Again, it is not a cure, okay? It is not a cure. I still struggle every day, just like everybody else. I have my good days, my bad days. Some days I don't breathe well. Some days I just don't want to get out of bed because it's so much effort. And I just want to sleep another 10, 15 hours. And I already don't sleep as much as it is. I'm usually awake by noon. If I'm home, I'm usually get off at 3. I have an hour travel time. So I'm home by 4, hopefully asleep by 5-ish. Hunter does get up about 4:45. He tries to squeak around, but he gives me hugs and kisses before he leaves for work. And so, and he's usually gone by about 5:15. So usually I'm able to sleep by about 5:30 if I'm that tired. I lately am finding that I'm not sleeping very much. I think honestly that it's probably the stress of this COVID stuff. I think that the inundation of the news media, of everything you see now, is the COVID-19. So I think the media is causing so much paranoia as well. Arizona has lost 6 people total. And to me, that is not a statistic that I'm the least bit worried about. I want to know. I still see it as a much bigger thing, and I still do not see this as a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, if it was killing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, I honestly, and please believe me, I'm not callous. I really am not. I'm not jaded because of my job either. My heart goes out to those people that have lost their lives because of this, and I pray for those families, but I do, and I pray for anyone who's lost anyone because of this. But you know what? People die every day, and people ask me, how do I do my job? And I say, you know what? Unfortunately, it's the way the world works. And if you have a realistic view on the way that the world works, then you understand that it is what it is. And you know, you can't let it get you down. You have to try to live your own life to the best that you can, live your own best life, and love the people around you. Understand that life is precious no matter what, whether it's your own or somebody else's, and it is precious. Life is extremely precious, and therefore I try to treat it that way every day, with my friends, with my family, with even the people that I speak to, because yes, I do answer 911 calls. When somebody calls 911, yes, I do answer 911 calls. The city that I work for is just large enough, is extremely large, and what happens is our 911 operators, which are the bread and butter of everything, and truly they are first responders. They are the first responders when people speak of first responders. They're the ones that answer the phone. I am trained to be an operator, but my city is too big to have our 911 operators answer the phone and talk to the officers on the radio at the same time, so we are separated. But every single dispatcher is taught to be a 911 operator. That is where you first came from. That is where we supply the dispatchers from. So every single person is an operator, and again, I am still an operator. I take a lot of pride in that, a lot of pride. And I have so much pride for doing that job. I expect nothing in return, and I don't want kudos. I don't want any of that. That's not what I'm looking for right now. That is not it. It is just my job, and it is the things I do. It is where my heart is, and it's what makes me happy. I've been there for almost 20 years. It's over 19 years now, almost 20 years, and I love it every day. Every day I get excited about going to work. So that makes me happy. I love dealing with the people and the officers and everything. So now everybody knows that's what I do. So enough of that. Anyway, with the Ocrevus, again, I do think that the Ocrevus has kept me going for a very, very long time, and I'm hoping that it will keep me going for another 50 years. I am 47 years old. I do not choose to be 97, but my grandfather will be 91 years old here shortly. Both of my other grandmothers died at a late stage in their life, so I'm hoping that through taking good care of myself and everything, that I can live a long, healthy life too, and this MS will not get me. And that is something that I do know. My MS will never get me. It will not be on my death certificate. It's not something that I am going to give into. So everybody, again, let me know your fears about what's going on. Talk to me about the COVID. Again, I apologize for the shakiness. If my camera doesn't stabilize, I am hoping that it will do that, and I'm going to check out the video and see what happens. If not, maybe I'll just refilm a bunch of stuff sitting still. So we'll definitely see. I love you all so much. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. Again, our community is something that is amazing, and I'm just trying to vlog what's going on in my life and how I deal with this disease. Everybody's disease is different. Everybody's experiences are different. Everybody's outlook is different. But outlook is a choice. Perception is a choice. You can choose to fight this disease, or you can choose to lay down and let it eat you. And it will eat at your heart long before it will eat your emotional heart, long before it will eat, I think, at your emotional brain. So I think that you need to just have a realistic view, and you just need to decide that this isn't going to get me. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for being part of my channel. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I have some really good news that's going to be coming up. So I'm really looking forward to how I'm going to be able to show you guys how to do that. So we'll definitely see, from Hunter and I, and definitely my family to yours. Again, if you need anything, please let me know. I will do my best to try to help, to try to comfort, to try to support you in any way that I can. And you know what? I need it too. I'm not saying that I'm invincible. I choose not to be. I don't want to be. And I need help too, guys. And you know what? I think that just being able to especially vlog this for you guys, I see some of the comments and stuff that you guys make, and you know what? It keeps me going every day. And I thank you so, so much. And you are my pride and joy. And again, let me know if there's anything that I can do. So I don't want to ramble on anymore. Anyway, I'll get this put up here real shortly. So stay healthy.